Yo, Showtime! I heard you said I hit like a wet noodle.
Yeah, you do hit like a wet noodle.
I've been hitting some weights. I've been lifting some weights, Showtime.
What? You've been lifting some weights?
Yeah, I'm about to show you who hits like a wet noodle.
What's up, guys? Showtime here, back at it like gaming addicts, and boy, do I have a show for you guys. Welcome back to Rush Royale. Today, we're spotlighting none other than Sentry. Sentry got a huge buff over the last update, the update that dropped today. It is December 21st, first day of winter, and Sentry got a huge buff. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Sentry is playing rough, and Sentry is up there with the big boys. And when I'm saying the big boys, you guys are going to see what I'm talking about. We got some gameplay to show off. We're not going to talk. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. Guys, look at this. Let me bring it up on the screen for the people in the back that don't know what Sentry does. We'll read it. Sentry. It's a rare card. It gradually increases his damage in 10% increments. Now, the devs aren't clear. When they say in 10% increments, like 10% increments of what? You know, like we don't know. We really don't know at all, right? But from what I've seen is that it increases indefinitely. You know, there may be a cap on it. I haven't found it yet. You wise trainers in the comment section, let me know what the cap is. But what I've seen is when you merge the sentries, the attack damage resets. We played a co-op battle and Sentry held its own. Most people, and I'm not saying most people, but a lot of trainers struggle to get past wave 30. I managed to get past wave 30 with Sentry, so I'm thinking Sentry is successful. The pros of Sentry is that it's gonna keep on, it's gonna hit hard, right? The cons, like we mentioned, when you merge it, it's gonna reset. If you get Bedlam, it's gonna reset. And of course, if Shaman hits it, I assume it's gonna reset also. So is Sentry gonna be a S tier card, not with Shaman around the way Shaman works right now, but Sentry holds its own. Like I said, we got some gameplay to showcase this. I took this into co-op. I wasn't really, I'm not really able to go into PvP with it because I want to learn the mechanics a little bit more. But guys, if you have any more tips on Sentry, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be glad to hear it. But Sentry's attack scales up, and it scales up indefinitely. Like I said, if there is a cap, let me know in the comment section down below. We got some gameplay to showcase this. If you like Rush Royale tips and tricks and content, go ahead and sub to the channel. Click the bell notification because we live stream right here on YouTube every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we drop videos every day. I'll see you guys next time. All right, let's get into some co-op battle. We're going against Meat Lofty. We're gonna try to make Sentry work this game. We're gonna merge these two dryads and move it up into Sentry. This Sentry right here is the first Sentry that we have all leveled up. We have it at merge rank 3. The goal of the game is we're gonna try, good luck, we're gonna try to keep the sentries at merge level 3. We're not gonna try to go above that for the most part, right? And this is our oldest Sentry, so we're gonna try to keep this as consistent as possible, there as long as possible. We're not gonna try to merge this one or this one as much as possible. We're gonna keep them on the board. All right, so full disclosure, this is pre-recorded. This is pre-recorded on as a screen record, so it's not live. This is a replay of a match, right? So I kind of already know what's going on. So we're going against Meat Lofty. I mean, now we're playing with him. It looks like he's going support. Like I said, these two right here, the entire game we're gonna keep them there. We're not going to move these past tier 3, so these two should be hitting the hardest. If you look right here, we're hitting at 205. When we crit, it crits for 1,100. You see the yellow? Right there, you can see how much we crit for. See, he quit for 1,100. So, and that's that. That's that. We're not playing Vampire in this deck. We're playing Priestess instead. Because we want to keep everything separate. We know what Priestess does. We don't want to rely on the nerfed Vampire. We know how the game should flow with Priestess, right? We get another Sentry right here. And this game was really weird because we got no Summoners. We got no summoners at all this game. It was really, really weird. Like you guys will see, we haven't got a summoner yet, and we don't get a summoner this game at all. We're rocking Sentry. It looks like my partner knows what we're trying to do, so that's why he's playing support. Even though he has Boreases, he's not gonna have a lot of Boreases. He's gonna keep the cold mages. We go ahead and give our first power up with the sentries, and the sentries are not having a problem. Yes, it's only wave 8, but the monsters aren't coming on the side of the field at all. We got another crit for 1460 now. 1143 is our crit. As time goes on, I assume the sentries are doing more damage as time goes on. Oh, look at all these. Shout out to Foam Cats. Look at all these white girls we have. All these mimes. All these mimes. And no summoners. None. None. This is like the summonerless game. We're up to wave 10 now. This is a nice test to see how well we're doing. We're already leveled up to 400. 40,000 health boss, and we're just gonna melt it down. We're just gonna melt it down. It doesn't even really get a chance to. It doesn't get a chance to really turn the corner. We're gonna use the white girl to level up a priestess because we have no summoners. Ideally, we want to level these up with summoners. So we got another tier 3 sentry, 2 tier 3 sentries here. We want to keep these 2. Give our ally a good luck. We get a dryad. The way this deck works, we use our dryads to pump up our sentries. That's it. Once we get a sentry, we gotta just pump it up. We don't want any variation. So my opponent, see, I'm showing you guys the tier 3s. This is a tier 3 and this is a tier 3, and we're gonna keep these there the entire game. When we're critting for like 1700 right now, 1723. That's our high. 1723. That's our high with our crit. We're up to wave 13 now. Trying to give our opponent a good luck, but he's not responding. But he's doing a wonderful job supporting. Doing a wonderful job supporting. We're finally forced to combine 2 white girls because we're not getting any summoners at all. We got no summoners. We're up to wave 14 and we got 0 summoners. And I'm showing you guys, these are my tier 3 sentries, and we're not going to move them. We're hitting for 1723. We finally got our first summoner. That was our first summoner. That was the second summoner we got this game. So finally we broke our summoner cold streak. It took wave 14 to get 2 summoners. Alright, so wave 15 now. Combine 2 white girls. Wave 15 is a mini boss. If you guys don't know, the waves on the 10s are true bosses, and waves on the 5s are mini bosses. But we take it out with no problem. No problem at all. Alright, so now we're gonna continue to level up our sentries. We got these 2 sentries right here, and these two sentries right here. These are the old OG ones from the like 2nd wave. And these right here are pretty old also. So we're not going to touch these, and we're not going to touch these for the entire game. But everything else is fair game. We're up to 2,000 crits. Our crit is at 2,083 right now. And we're demolishing our board. My opponent's taking his time because he's a little bit of support. So he's taking his time. So we're on wave 17 now, and as you guys can see, we're at 2,083, but we just powered up, so now we're at 2,200. We're doing 2,200 crit damage, and I don't know if it's crit damage or if that's the damage because Sentry is doing increased damage. The game doesn't really specify yet. Got another Sentry in the field, so this is kind of a new Sentry, and this is a new Sentry. We're at 2,400 now, and at 2,400, but we didn't even do anything to get to 2,400. We didn't power up. We're already max level. We've been max level for a long time, but we're at 2,480. And like I said, we're doing this easily, right? Like really without the help of our opponent. My opponent is doing well on his own, but we're handling our own wave. We're at 2480 crit damage or 2480 sentry damage. However you want to look at it. However you want to look at it. See, like we're handling our own. We're at wave 19. And I don't think Sentry could have did this on its own before the buff, right? So nothing to play with, nothing to laugh at. It's not hitting like a wet noodle anymore. Not hitting like a wet noodle anymore. Now this is the wave 20 boss. It's gonna now try to stone us to death. Gorgon is gonna try to stone us to death. We already got it down to 100, under 100,000 before it turns the corner. That's 60,000. Now we get help from the chemist. So with the chemist, Sentry's not gonna have any problem at all. Not at all. I'm gonna take this Dryad and hook it up with another Sentry. As you know, this is a new Sentry, so we don't mind leveling it up. And now we finished it. Now we nuke it down for our opponent. So if you look at our opponent's field, he's playing kind of full support. He has a couple Boreases, but these Bombardiers, these Frost Mages, like he's going full support. So shout out to my opponent. Shout out to Meat Lofty. All right, so we got some summoner action. We're gonna get some more summoner action. We got this huge Sentry right here. It's a huge one. We didn't mind because it's one of the newer ones, but it's huge. Like these over here are new. This one over here kind of new also, but these are old. These are old. We make sure we're gonna keep our base here and here, no matter what. But we had a 3622 right here, but I think that's because of the chemist. I think that's because of the chemist. Don't know if we're maxed out right now on the 2400. I think it was 2400. Try to keep my eye on it. Yeah, 2480. Don't know if we're capped out at 2480. Haven't seen us going past 2480 at all. Maybe we capped out on that. When we go right here, it should go a little bit higher because of the chemist. Do the 3622. 3622. I think that's because of the chemist. Right, let's see what the next wave brings us. See if we can pass 2480 or do we cap out at that? Let's see. Let's see. Pay attention to the yellow numbers here. 2480. Yeah, still 2480. So there's no 10% increment up yet. And guys, we're in wave 24 and we're handling it like a boss with Sentry, like a boss. We're gonna merge these two because this was a new one. If you guys don't remember, like these ones were new. And these ones were new, and of course the level 1 is new also. So we don't mind merging over here. These we want to keep the same. These we want to keep over, and we don't mind that one. That's the new. That was the new one also. It's high, but that's the new one. And we're still at 2480. We haven't passed that. And the reason why I'm paying attention because this is the Sentry Spotlight. I want to try to get down to the nitty gritty and see if it's capped. It look like it might be capped. These Bombardiers are helping us out. We're at wave 25. As I said, on the 5s are mini bosses, but we're handling it. Shout out to my opponent. Nice support deck. Nice support deck. Shout out to my opponent. Or shout out to my ally, I should say. Alright, so these two we merged because, like I said, these are new. We don't mind merging these over here. Yeah, it looks like we're capped out at 2480. Of course, we get the 3700 because of the chemist, I think. But 2480 sounds like what we're capped at. And we took care of our side. Wave 26, we took care of our side. Sentry's not a problem. I mean, Sentry's okay. Sentry's okay in co-op. All right. Like I said, these over here are all new. Right here. They're new. So we don't mind. We got this Dryad right here. We might be forced to do something there. We took care of our wave. This is our opponent's wave now. Our opponent's wave come down. We'll take care of our opponent's wave for him. Not a problem. Wave 28. Still going strong. We upgraded there, so we got rid of all the tier 2s. We got one tier 2 here and a tier 1. But we're definitely not going to touch these two. We're not going to touch these two. And still 2480. We came around the corner and went to 3900. But I'm assuming that's because of the chemists. We got multiple chemists on the field now. 3900 because of multiple chemists. Not because our sentries. Looks like our sentries cap out around 2400. We're going to mime into Summoner. Priest into Priestess. Look over here, guys. 2480 still. And as we bend the corner, 3900. So yeah. So there is the max. Wave 29, and we took care of wave 29 easily with Sentry. Easily. Well, Sentry does put in some work. The big boss is coming out, Bedlam, and this is the test. This is the test. This is the test. Like I said, this is a replay. Bedlam is coming out, and let's see, we had 800,000 health, and we nuked it down 700,000 health, and then we get caught up. We get caught up. We're gonna have to just try to merge to get some mana. We're searching, we're searching, we're searching. Getting kind of nervous. We're searching. We got a high star Sentry right here. We're gonna try to search some more. Upgrade this Sentry. This Sentry still didn't change. Now it changed. Now we're all messed up. Still searching for some plays. We are go ahead and taking down our boss, and our opponent's boss is right behind it at 600,000 health. And now we're on the clock with 500,000 health. We got this nice Sentry here, this nice Sentry here, this nice big Sentry here, and we're getting kind of nervous. But our opponent and I it's getting really close. We're trying to look for the sentries. We got a few big sentries on the board, and we barely got it, but we did. Sentry was able to do enough damage. Look at my opponent's board. He didn't have any real damage on his board. He did have the bombardiers and the chemist, but it was all these sentries. We were able to get past wave 30 with Sentry, and I think that means that Sentry got a buff, and the buff is usable. Like I said in the intro of the video, it's hard countered anytime you merge it. So it's hard countered by Bedlam, and also hard countered by Shaman. And it stops there. We do not make it past this wave. But Meat Lofty, it was a pleasure playing with you. Guys, what do you think about Sentry? This is my first initial impressions of it. It got a buff. It is usable if you don't have any cards. Is it better than Boreas or Engineer? Probably not, you know, but time will tell. Time will tell. Guys, leave a comment in the video. Let me know how you feel. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. That was fun.